How's it going, guys? It's Mouseball, and this is the Attack Mouse Nation, and welcome to Motoring with Mouseball. And guys, is car culture dying? Let's talk about it. So, has car culture been dying? Well, Mama Mouse and I think so, and we think it's been dying for quite a long time. I mean, I got a video in my suggested that was from Bladed Angel, and he asked, is car culture dying? And he gave his reasons on why it is and why it's not. You know, I happened to leave a comment in the comment section, and I had one guy pretty much say that the Abarth was a dumb car. Now, I thought that was pretty funny, considering that my comment was about clout chasers, OnlyFans girls, and YouTubers pretty much ruining car culture. And when it comes down to it, what is the one car that people tend to gravitate to as the car to have? Well, an import car. You know, your Supra, your GTR. You know, for the American crowd, it's going to be your Challenger and Charger Hellcat. You know, maybe the, Super Snake Mustang GT500. You know, your typical Corvette, or even a Camaro ZL1 1LE. You know, those are the cars that people tend to gravitate towards as being cars that are acceptable by car culture. So when this gentleman decided to call the Abarth a dumb car, I respected that he didn't like the car, and that's fine. Now, you don't have to like a car to appreciate a car, because cars exist for a reason, whether it's a Pinto or a Lada or a Yugo, it doesn't matter. The whole point is they were designed and created by somebody. And even if they're the worst car in the world, there's somebody out there that keeps that piece of history alive. And when I explained in the comments that the Abarth had pedigree, that the Abarth was created by Carlo Abarth, who actually raced against freight trains and beat freight trains on a motorcycle of all things. And Abarth pretty much did a lot of tuning. He created his own tuning arm under his own name, which made a lot of beautiful and orchestral exhaust systems. So when you think about it, why would somebody call this car dumb? I mean, is it because it's small? Is it because it's odd looking? Is it because people think it's ugly? And that could be a very good reason why someone might not like this car. No different than the person that commented in Bladed Angel's video saying that the Abarth was a dumb car. Now, that commenter has every right to his opinion, but based on being a car enthusiast, it doesn't make very much sense, because if you're a real car enthusiast and not a cloud chaser, well, you're not going to judge a car based on how it looks. You're going to base it on how it performs, how well it drives. Is the platform a decent platform for what it's made for? And there's no doubt this car has a lot of flaws. A high center of gravity, it's very short and stubby. The looks are questionable, as I pointed out before. But instead of putting the car down, why not ask the person at the car show what enticed them to buy a car like this? And most of the time, you're going to get a very detailed answer about that, because people just don't decide to buy a car that is this odd for no reason. And you might want to ask the person, hey, can you take me for a ride so I can understand why you like this car? Because this car isn't the most mainstream car in the car community. So what would convince you to buy something like this? And if you go for a ride, you might actually be pleasantly surprised. Hey, you might even want to go as far as renting one from Turo and being behind the wheel yourself. But either way, being a car enthusiast means understanding why others chose differently than you, and actually taking the time to learn about that car's history. Because the guy in the comments figures, hey, I can wreck any Abarth with my IS300 with a few bolt-ons. Well, of course, you've got a 2JZ GE engine. You have a straight six compared to the little 1.4 liter multi-air engine in this car. But I can guarantee you, you're not going to hang with this car on the tail of the dragon. Very few cars can. You know, maybe Mini Coopers, some Lotuses, a couple Porsches, but any car that has over 200 plus horsepower, you're not even going to use an eighth of that horsepower around a mountain road like the tail of the dragon. So to me, it just doesn't make any sense. You know, people judge things because it's not part of their in-group. People judge things because it doesn't have enough status or it doesn't have enough money attached to it. You know, having a place like this is a huge responsibility. And I'm not going to buy a $300,000 or $500,000 Lamborghini just to impress people. You know, if I own a car like that, it's because it's a car I've always wanted and I enjoy driving it. And I'm going to take it to the track where it belongs. You know, regardless of what car it is. I'm not going to not buy a car like this because people think, oh, it's not popular. That's the silliest thing you could ever do, is buy something based on what others think of you. And that's what Motoring with Mouseball has always been about. It's always been about truly knowing the car and truly understanding what the car is all about, as opposed to car culture being about what it is now. Cloud chasing, OnlyFans girls capitalizing off the simps. You know, if you talk to an OnlyFans girl who owns some of these high-end cars that they tend to be bouncing on and doing all sorts of the crazy things that they're doing to it, well, you're probably going to find out that they don't know anything about cars at all. That they're there for a good time, not a long time. And they're definitely there to cash in on a lot of simps who, you know, wish they could be with them. But it's all sold under the pretenses that this girl's into cars and that this girl loves cars and that this girl actually enjoys what makes being a car enthusiast so important to all of us. That's where everything has gone wrong, and that's why car culture is dying. And like the circle of life, car culture will die, it will rise again like a phoenix from the ashes, and it will die again. And it will keep on repeating this cycle for years and years to come. And why? Because car culture really isn't going anywhere. There will always be someone who wants to express themselves with their car. Whether that's me, that blue Abarth, and many others, will always love the cars that speak to us. Anybody who thinks being a YouTuber is a hard job, you know, it's not. The only thing that's hard about being a YouTuber is actually creating content and coming up with content that's fresh. I earned everything I have the right way. I didn't need social media and technology to be somebody of interest or somebody with skill. And you guys have seen on this channel that I don't just fix cars. I airbrush graphics, I tape out graphics. I know how to do tons of things with cars that go way beyond just turning a wrench. You know, I've even delved into the world of motorcycles. You know, it's not about one person being better than the other. It's about passing on information to the next generation and making them understand that you have to start somewhere. And that today's world of clout chasing and, oh, I have to have the most expensive and hottest car on the market to be anybody is a total sham. You know, car culture has always been about taking what you have and making the best of it and continuously building that up until you get to the car of your dreams and keeping the original car that started it all. And that's the difference between being a real car enthusiast and being a clout chaser. So guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay wealthy. And remember, it doesn't matter what you drive. What matters is what you do with it. Take it easy, guys. Mouse ball out.